reason of NSA calling Marco Rubio and telling them, we've conducted these strikes. And as far as, we don't want to escalate this anymore. And if Pakistan can do that if they want to do it.
Right. So, Rohit, clearly enough pressure also that, India activating international pressure on Pakistan, because now it's Pakistan who says they will retaliate. And now if they do, then India will hit hard. So India activating all kinds of pressures right now where international pressure comes into play as well.
You know what's extremely significant? Pakistan has shut down Lahore and Sialkot airports. Pakistan has closed its airspace for the next 48 hours. Pakistan anticipates that India could up the ante after Pakistan responds. So they want any movement in the air that's spotted on their radars to be seen as absolutely escalatory in terms of a target that needs to be taken down, because Pakistan has once again failed, Preeti. Pakistan could not see 9 incoming aerial threats to 9 different locations. Now they've shut the Lahore and the Sialkot airport for the next 48 hours. Preeti, this is hugely significant. Let's also bring into this conversation, Preeti, Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, former Director General of India's Infantry, who joins us on this broadcast. General Kulkarni, 9 targets, including one in Bahawalpur, Pakistan's Punjab province. Including one in Bahawalpur, Pakistan's Punjab province.
Gaurav, it could have been better. Not Bahawalpur, which is supposedly the hub of Jaish-e-Mohammed and the terrorists. And I don't think Pakistan has any moment now to do. But however, Pakistan will retaliate. There will be ceasefire violations. There is no denying the fact, but we are prepared for it. And I'm sure Pakistan has got the message that these kind of strikes that they've done, and the Operation Sindoor, aptly named, just primarily the way they had gone about killing 26 of the innocent people. Yes. I think it couldn't have been better. If you ask me, Pakistan was asking for it. Pakistan had been time and again, and probably Pakistan was aware of what India would be doing. Otherwise,
but
the chief of the army staff would have dispatched their family.
Absolutely, General. The fact remains, Preeti, India has targeted terrorist launch pads and terrorist training camps. There are no terror launch pads and training camps in India. What will Pakistan strike? If Pakistan strikes, let's say, a brigade headquarters or a battalion headquarters or any military location, that will be escalation by Pakistan, which will be adequately responded to. So the ball is in Pakistan's court. Will it dare to escalate? Apart from LC hotting up, anything else that Pakistan does will have massive consequences for Pakistan.
Because, Gaurav, with what all's coming in, because till now what we've been given to understand that 9 terror establishments across 3 locations in Pakistan, 2 in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, 1 in the Punjab province, have been targeted by India in a precision measured strike. But Gaurav, I want to get you in, and maybe you can weigh in on it. One, because right now we don't have details coming in on what these 9 locations are, but one of them of utmost importance, India has targeted Masjid Subhan Allah in Bahawalpur. Now this has very, very strong Jaish connection.
Bahawalpur is Jaish-e-Mohammed headquarters. And for those of us who covered IC-814 hijack, for those of us who covered the fact that India had to release that Maulana of terror, Masood Azhar, and he went to Pakistan and he set up the Jaish-e-Mohammed in Bahawalpur. Remember, Pakistan's Punjab province, Preeti, it has 2 very major terrorist training camps and launch pads in Punjab province. One is Murid-Ke. Murid-Ke is Lashkar-e-Taiba. The second is Bahawalpur, and Bahawalpur is Jaish-e-Mohammed. The fact that India has targeted Jaish-e-Mohammed, hitting the heart of Jaish-e-Mohammed's terror training camp is a big significance statement that's being made, not just as far as Pahalgam is concerned, but even as far as IC-814 hijack is concerned, Preeti.
Once again, viewers, we're going to put this in perspective. Why is this a never-seen response by India? Because the last time when the surgical strikes happened was very, very different, Gaurav, because Pakistan didn't even admit to it. And today you've had the Prime Minister, you've had of Pakistan, you've had the Pakistan Army coming out and clearly corroborating what India has said.
I want to just put out a picture in 2 minutes from now, which somebody from Pakistan has sent me. It's a picture of DG of their Pakistan's Prime Minister was at ISI headquarters last night. So they anticipated something. Yesterday, he was at ISI headquarters. Pakistan's Prime Minister, Pakistan's Army Chief, Pakistan's entire ISI leadership, they were there and they were photographed at ISI headquarters. So Pakistan anticipated perhaps something was going to happen. But did they anticipate that India would strike 9 targets? And you're absolutely right. Surgical strikes, Pakistan didn't even admit it had happened. I was reporting from Srinagar after Pulwama when the Balakot airstrikes happened, and then DG ISPR at 5 in the morning, he said that yes, Indian Air Force planes came and they struck some place in Balakot, and that time we weren't sure whether it was Balakot POK or Balakot in KPK, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Pakistan conceded and confirmed that had happened, but they launched a swift retort the next day. Now, Preeti, this is huge when 9 different targets have been acquired in Pakistan and Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir. So India is very clearly saying no part of Pakistan is safe. If you're a terrorist or a terrorist backer, we will target you anywhere, Preeti.
And from here on, and Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, I want to also bring you in, and maybe you can weigh in on it, because the ball now is in Pakistan's court, because India's message, India's press release, and I think there are a couple of words that one really needs to underline, that this was a measured response, that this, and this is the most important word, General, was a non-escalatory response, and only targeting terrorist outlets and no military establishment. India has made it very clear that this was retaliatory to Pahalgam. This is not, should not be looked as escalatory in nature. Right after that, we have the NSA who picks up the phone and calls and briefs America. So now India, the next step for India, justice is served. And hoping now that there's enough international pressure on what is a rogue country to not react or retaliate to this.
Thank you, Preeti. I sincerely hope Pakistan stops being a hub of terror, because this retaliatory and precise measures to only strike where the terrorist camps were and the terrorists were being trained, no denying the fact. And the fact that Kotli, Muzaffarabad, because I remember seeing Muzaffarabad from Tanga. So all these targets, especially the blackout that has occurred over there, is indicative that all of it, the response of the retaliation has come from Pakistan. You had their Prime Minister tweet, you had their DGIS tweet that the retaliation will be there. But I do not see any retaliation coming from Pakistan as of now. But of course, the ceasefire line will get heated up. There will be cross-border firing which will take place along the LOC. But notwithstanding that, I think it was something that Pakistan was asking for it. And Pakistan has been time and again, and the very fact that the mock drills were to be today is indicative. Probably an indication was given that should India be retaliating, what should be the public be doing in India? And don't visualize. I don't think Pakistan will retaliate, because even
but will Pakistan actually, heed to sense here and not retaliate? Because at least with what and it doesn't seem that the army or the executive knows that, what's going on with the other, where Pakistan is concerned. The army has come up with a completely different definition of what has really gone down, and the Prime Minister has issued a statement which doesn't quite concur what the army seems to suggest.
Again, a big story. So Pakistan is also now going through the motions, while every decision in Pakistan is taken by Pakistan Army Chief General Asim Munir. But the fact is that they've also called a national security meeting tomorrow at 10 in Pakistan. In India, 11 o'clock there's cabinet meeting. 11 o'clock, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his cabinet will be meeting. The Cabinet Committee on Security will be meeting. Because do keep in mind that Pakistan will retaliate. But will this retaliation be beyond the LC heating up? Look, it's 770 kilometers of line of control. Along 770 kilometers, it's about 500 kilometers plus. The general can correct me on a couple of kilometers here. Okay, big story. Indian Air Force exercise has started 1:30 at night. Indian Air Force started its exercises, and the roar of IF fighter jets, that's continuously resonating on the skies of Jaisalmer. So it's southern Rajasthan that you have Indian Air Force that is carrying out its exercises. There are very aggressive exercises, Preeti, which are known as CAP or Combat Air Patrols. Now in your CAPs, your fighter jets, India has the Rafales, the Su-30 MKIs, the AWACS up in the air. You can look 300 kilometers deep inside enemy territory, and you can acquire multiple targets simultaneously and take them down. So if Pakistani fighter jets cross that 10-kilometer line. Their fighter jets and our fighter jets are not supposed to go 10 kilometers from the international border.
They have the F-16s and we have Rafales right now.
They have the F-16s, we have the Rafales, we have the Mirage 2000s, we have the Jaguars deep penetration strike aircraft, and we have the Su-30 MKIs capable of taking 8 tons of heavy weaponry, including the BrahMos supersonic cruise missile, Preeti.
Gaurav, right now, what we've been given to understand is that, and something which Pakistan has also admitted, that India struck from its own airspace.
Yes.
So we did not use our air force. It seems its missiles is what we are using.
So that is the impression that the government...
Inference that
is the inference, but government's keeping this very ambiguous. But even our fighter jets, deep inside our own territory, we have fighter jets that can hit a target more than 200 kilometers away. So being way inside our own territory, we can take down anything across Pakistan, is what Air Force has told us. Shivani can tell us more.
Shivani, I want to come to you. What more details do you have right now? India conducting an air exercise. Give us details, Shivani. Go ahead.
Preeti and Gaurav, you're absolutely right. India has all the capability. The Indian fighter jets have all the capability of, without even entering the exact airspace of Pakistan, they can hit the target hard at the precise and focused location in a measured, calibrated strike. And that is what we are getting from the sources, that this was what happened around 1:30 a.m. when the Indian Air Force's fighter, they carried out this precision strike in these 9 specific terror outfits where we've been seeing how the terrorists were being trained and they were being funded. This is a big strike. I think this is one of the biggest ever airstrikes that have been conducted by India in Pakistan's terror outfits without even touching the military establishments out there. Any infrastructure of military has not been touched out there. That's what has been shared by the PIB press release. And they also say that there will be a detailed briefing that will be telling us about what aircraft it was and how many casualties have happened in these strikes and what were the missiles that were used in this particular air attack that happened at 1:30. The Operation Sindoor has been very successful, specific, and that's what we've been getting the confirmations about, not only from the Indian Army, the Defence Minister also. And right when these strikes were happening, the whole system was awake and activated. The Army was tweeting of a big strike operation that it has been taking on the western borders. And even as we speak, the air assets remain activated. We are vigilant, not only on the ground, but in the air too. And for any kind of retaliatory action, as we've been getting the inputs that in multiple locations where we were witnessing small arms firing since last 12 days, today is the 13th night, when we are witnessing heavy artillery firing going on in Uri sector, in Rajouri Poonch, in Mendhar also. And this has been tackled well by the Indian Army with retaliatory fire of the artillery shells there. And on the borders also, we have kept our assets ready for any kind of exchange or any kind of retaliation by Pakistan.
Looking
so far, Indian Army has not taken any escalatory measure.
So that there is no civilian casualty?
See, there the mechanism is already at place. There are bunkers. We've been reporting from those bunkers just yesterday, Preeti. There are bunkers that have been made in these villages. The villagers know the SOPs because this is not the first time when these ceasefire violations are happening. Before 2021, this was a normal affair. Every day there used to be heavy artillery firing in these areas. So there are bunkers that are operationalized, reactivated. People have been made aware how to be safe and calm in this situation, and Army is taking retaliatory action in these areas. And we've been seeing that these villagers, they also wanted a decisive action. They were with the government's decision, and perhaps we are very sure that when in the morning we get to interact more with these people, they will be satisfied with the kind of action that has been taken by Indian government against the terror outfits in Pakistan and POJK.
Shivani, what are you hearing in? It seems tomorrow 10 a.m. is going to be an official debriefing to the media of the success of Operation Sindoor.
Preeti, we've been told that tomorrow morning, anytime between 10 and 11, there can be a big media briefing in the national capital where we can see the details, even the minutest details of this operation that has been taken on at 1:30 a.m., where we'll be getting to know what kind of aircraft was activated, what all was taken into consideration, which were the terror outfits that were specifically targeted, what are the casualty counts out there, any retaliation that happened, because we are getting a lot of fake inputs from Pakistani media, to be specific, about some damage on our side. But
Shivani, will you stay on with me? We want to continue giving out the latest information that's coming in and information filtering in now, Gaurav. The attacks on multiple targets across Pakistan and POK Kashmir. Operation Sindoor was a joint operation by the Indian Army and Air Force using precision strike weapons. So yes, with what we were discussing earlier, that the Indian Air Force was also involved, and I think we're going to get more details tomorrow when a debriefing to the media will happen on Operation Sindoor.
Oh, you're absolutely right, and the joint operations continue even as we speak. If we were to talk about what's happening at the line of control, heavy artilleries are automatically now being used both by the Pakistanis and the Indians, so which means that from small arms it's escalated to area weapons, point 1 and point 2. You have the Indian Air Force in a massive exercise in southern Rajasthan, flying over southern Rajasthan desert. Now when they fly over this area, it's the entire Pakistani territory across that their radars can scan across, whether it's in Pakistan's Punjab province, in Sindh province, which includes Karachi, and also parts of Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir. So it's a massive strike that's being undertaken, not just strike but post strike. So Pakistan Air Force is flying, but Pakistan Air Force are staying on their side of
I don't know,
border.
because we're getting in, viewers, what we're going to do is, I want to bring in Gaurav on this. We're going to put out details only because Pakistan media is trying to propagate that,
they do a lot of misinformation.
There's a fair amount of disinformation and propaganda coming in from their side. But
so,
we'll continue to get our viewers more on this right now.
Absolutely, because, even when Balakot had happened, they had claimed that multiple Indian aircraft had been shot down. They had claimed that that time, but unless it's officially confirmed by Government of India and by the Ministry of Defence, Pakistan does indulge in a lot of misinformation and disinformation campaign. Their media has been making a lot of claims about Rafales and so on. But our information is that this was standoff weapons that were used. But the Pakistanis have officially also conceded that all the attacks that took place in Pakistan today and Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir were from the Indian side. So there is no question of any Indian fighter jet being across, as is being claimed by the Pakistani media. They indulge in a lot of disinformation.
But even the Pakistan Army, Gaurav, has admitted that we did not violate the airspace. These were,
our missiles
did. But that's what at least they're saying, that there was, we fired from our own airspace, is
Absolutely.
what they, at least that the brief that has come in from the Pakistan Army is. All right, viewers, let me quickly take you through the latest that's coming in. Shivani, will you